going on, guys? Well, it's that time. POR 15. Old girl's bottom's gonna get freaking slathered with it. Wanted to talk to you today though about her fuel system. Now, obviously the tank's not cleaned up yet. I have to do that. But this is an LS swap car, so this covers really anything that you're doing, with an LS swap. Even some stuff that you're not, it already has an LS in it. I'm a big GTO guy. I've had a couple GTOs, 05 and an 06. And my major reason, or my main thing, whenever I had them on the dyno, is I'm running out of fuel. So that's a big thing, with these engines, anything modern, is running out of fuel. So what I'm trying to do, and what I did with my S10 too, I'll get into that fuel system later on too. That's a little different. It's very similar, but there's a couple things on here. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm just trying to make it a little bit better. But with this here, I'm going for is I'm 400 or 500 horse maybe in the future. Right now, it's a factory 5.3, factory tune, nothing special. Whoever had it, they put a 4L80 behind it. Thank God, no 4L slippy. I mean, 4L slippies are good. I had an 01 Silverado with a 4L slippy in it for years. Never gave me a problem. But somebody decided to put a 4L80 in this. I'm not complaining. So anyways, basically I had a Corvette fuel pressure regulator in it. Basically, for those that you don't know, fuel comes out the tank. It goes into this. You have a return line that goes back into the tank right here. And then it circulates, and then it goes in deadheads at the fuel rail. Basically, I'm gonna keep the same setup. It works. It's nice. It's cheap. It's like 25 bucks. You change this filter out and the regulator at the same time. You have different options for that. I know the S10, like I said, I did that a little differently. Here's this one I got for this. I got this off of Amazon. It is like 20 bucks, something like that. But, brand new. Comes with that, comes with all the fittings. You're good to go. And these fuel systems really aren't extremely expensive. I think I got about 300 bucks invested. I'll show you everything I got here, but I think I got about 350, 400 bucks wrapped up in this fuel system here, and it'll support 500 horse, easy. And that's kind of what I'm looking at to get out of this. This is going to be a, Cam and Head's car. I think this is like a knockoff Deechworks. Not sure what exactly it was, but basically, whoever was in, they cut this off, and she sat down in a tank like this. Now you'll notice that this is a candid tank. I have an angle block of wood under it, but it's, pretty much on an angle. So that sat down in there like that. I prefer an in-tank pump, not this one. This one sounded like, I had a Monte Carlo with 2 4s on it, and a Holly Blue pump. It was a Vane pump, I don't know. For those of you who don't know, they're extremely loud. I thought it sounded cool. Then my Monte Carlo, that would jump Coke cans and had 3/4 race cams in it, and she would rip. But this thing was extremely loud. You turn the key on, you hear it, it would prime, and it would make the whole car rattle. So I wanted to get something a little bit better quality, because this is not something, especially with an in-tank pump, you don't want to be taking the tank down. It's a pain in the ass. You want to get something a little bit better quality, especially if you got your family in it, which I'm going to be hauling a family. I don't want car problems, so. And this got a jiggly in it, so I don't know what that is. But I went with AEM. And AEM is some really good stuff. I put this exact same pump in the S10. This is a 50-1200 fuel pump kit. It flows 340 liters per hour. And it's E85 compatible. Really nice pump. About the same size. Let me get it out of the package yet. About the same size as this, maybe a little shorter. And she moves some fuel, and you don't even hear it run. I mean, she's sweet. It really is. Highly recommend AEM stuff. Especially if you're going to go corn-fed. I was going to have the S10 corn-fed, but living in Pennsylvania, in my area, there's not really a whole lot of places you can get E85 at the pump, so it was kind of a moot point. But the nice part is, if you do want to go E85 at some point, you know, set your fuel system up, because all this stuff, if you're gonna buy it, get it that's already set up for E85, and then you're good. Because honestly, everything's the same except for E85, you need this sensor. This sensor right here, that's a flex fuel sensor. That was supposed to be in the S10, which I never put it in. And you need this plug. And you run wires and you pin that into your ECU, at least for your factory, for your Gen 3. This is all Gen 3 I'm talking about. For your Gen 3 ECU, you pin it in, I think it's, don't quote me, do your research, but I think it's pin 19. You got power, ground, and then your switch or your signal wire to your ECU plugs in. I think it's number 19. Don't quote me, like I said. You know, I have to double check it, but just plugs in. And you're good. And that's all that makes your car, you know, flex fuel compatible. It's not a big thing. You know, a lot of people look at it like, oh my God, it's, you know, you can run E85. How do you do that? That's it right there. So, not a big deal. But, you know, a lot of the stuff being E85, you know, it's alcohol based, you know, it's really hard on components. So, you know, you just buy your components. If you're building your fuel system and you know you're going to potentially want to run it, buy it now. You know, that way when you're building it, you don't have to worry about it later on. The other important things you want to buy, what I'm putting into this, besides this fuel pump, which is, you know, a good fuel pump, is I get this little box of goodies right here. Because this is important. Move this thing out of the way. And this is probably the most important thing is your line. Now this is Dash 6 Evil Energy. You get it on Amazon. I run the Dash 6 Evil Energy line on the S10. They have Dash 8, Dash 10, whatever you want to run. But these freaking fittings are awesome. I'll tell you what, you know, they have, these are called olives. They're so much better than AN fittings. I've messed with AN fittings in the past. They can be very, very frustrating, but they have all different angles. They have kits you can buy. You get the whole fitting kit. I bought this. I think it was like 110 bucks. It's not a bad price. It's like 25 foot of line. You cut it to fit, and basically you take. You can see that in there. It's almost, I don't even know what kind of line it is. I think it's like a PVC or something, but it's super high pressure. I built power steering line for the Impala out of it. Built my my power steering line for the S10 out of it. It takes a ton of pressure. I mean, it's just good shit. It really, really is. So, highly recommend Evil Energy stuff. If I haven't had issues with it yet. Like I said, you get a ton of fittings. I ordered actually more fittings, just so I know I have enough. And it's going to run, I'm going to run it right from the tank, right off of this, and it'll all be Dash 6 line all the way up to the front of the car. This is going to be a little bit of a multi-part series. So I'm just showing you what I got today, what my plans are. You know. Oh, also you get cool stickers with it too. I put those on my car. They don't last very long. They last about a year. But if you buy enough, you know, you'll have enough to keep you going. So that's what I do. Also, going along with the fuel pump, very important, wire. I run 10 gauge when it comes to fuel pump because it's continuous use. Thinner wire gets, it wants to you know, gonna want to get hot on you. Don't chintz out on your wire. Go with 10 gauge, go with a thick wire. Because like I said, continuous use, it's gonna be drawing, and it's gotta make pressure. You know, you need 60 psi at your, or 58 or 60 psi at your ejectors continuously. So that pump is going to have to make that, you know, and with various load conditions, depending on it, you know, how much fuel's in your tank. If she sucks dry, it's going to want to purge, you know, that's going to all affect that. It's going to affect the amperage and your pump draw. So big thing is make sure you got a thick enough wire. It's not going to get hot and melt down on you. You can see the difference. This is the wire that was running off of the other pump. Look, I mean, look at the difference. Look how thick that. So you're gonna want that. I mean, the strand in here is as thick as the entire wire on this one with the coating. including the coating. So, you know, the big thing is doing it right and doing it once, you know. So you're not gonna have issues. Nobody wants issues. Nobody wants to be stuck alongside the road. I got a friggin' mess here. But along with that, I've also got these for jaw. If you do decide to go this route for -6 lines, you're gonna need these for a jaw for your device. These are just magnet. They clip in, you put your fitting in there, and then you have this. Now I'm gonna do it, this is part 1. I'll do a video of showing how you put the line together and all that, and building lines, and then building the whole freaking fuel system. Start to finish, you know, I'm gonna document it all. I just wanted to get a video out and show you guys what exactly, you know, what I'm doing, what my plans are, that kind of thing. And then the most important part, especially on an older vehicle, this here. There's a ball in here, right? And this goes off of your tank vent right here. When this car was built, it had a line that went up into the trunk. I'll show you the hole here in a minute. It actually had a hole in the trunk. It went up, it curly-cued like a pig's tail, and it went back down. And that was your tank vent. All cars have them. You know, a lot of the newer cars, you know, when emissions came into play, they ran through a charcoal filter, that big freaking, you know, canister thing up under the hood. That was your tank vent. When they were older, they didn't have that. So this here, you know, God forbid, and stuff happens, you ever put it on its roof, or you ever put a vehicle on its roof, hopefully I never, you know, this one never upends, because it's heavy, and I don't know if that roof will frankly support the whole freaking car. So we have a lot more problems than leaking fuel. But this here, that ball, the idea behind it is you mount this straight up and down. You have a mounting point, highest part above the tank as you can get it, and that line runs from the tank right here to this. So God forbid it ever flips over, okay, it's upside down. There's a steel ball in here that snaps, that rolls forward, snaps shut, okay? That closes your tank vent off. That keeps fuel in the tank. So God forbid, you're in there, you're trapped in the car, at least you don't have gas leaking out, and you're not gonna burn to death if there's any fire or anything. And at least get you some time to get out of the car safely. So, you know, safety is a kind of a factor, especially when you're playing with a fuel system. You know, especially on a street car. On drag cars, that's a whole different story, you know. I mean, you got fuel cells and foam and all kinds of other stuff with that. So I couldn't really tell you about that. I don't really do drag racing too much. So I'm mostly into the street car world. So, but yeah, that you know, that's I think it's like $12, $15. I mean, it could save your life one day. So well worth the money. But yeah, that's it. Any questions, guys? Let me know. You know, any questions, leave them in the comments. This thing here, I don't know. I might end up ordering another one of these because that's kind of a little janky, and I don't know if I like it, frankly. But we'll see. We'll go with it, play it by ear. I gotta get this tank cleaned up, and I'll get another video out to you once I get everything set up and rolling here. I just wanted to show you what I got ready and what I got planned, and getting this shit rolled out here. It's gonna be fun. Oh, I can't wait to get this thing fired up. I cut the exhaust off right at the pipe, so she's gonna be loud. But all right, guys, have a good one. Talk to you later.